That is so real. Like the need to you feel guilty about not being productive every moment of every day. I have that all the time.
And welcome to another episode of the Asian Not Asian podcast. The podcast with your Asian friends. Why are you laughing?
I don't know. It's so funny to be in the middle of a conversation
and then jump
and
to
then
the
jump
podcast.
into an intro. It's just very funny.
One time, I mean, yeah, that's the thing. People don't realize that we have it's 12:20 p.m. on September 3rd, and people don't realize we have been hanging out here essentially for almost like a whole hour.
Yeah, Mike and I have just been chilling here for an hour.
Just like warming up, you know what I'm saying? Just like getting
our
limber.
Instrument, yeah.
Our
throats.
Our throats. Okay. Yeah, I was like, what instrument? But I didn't bring an instrument. Welcome to the Asian Not Asian podcast. My name, I'm your host, Mike Nguyen.
I'm Jenny Arimoto.
And we have Jenny. I don't know if you're going to talk about this for your what kind of Asian were you this week? But you feel that vibes are off. You feel the vibes are off?
Yeah, vibes are off.
Vibes are off. Are you going to talk about it during your thing? Should I hold off?
Well, should we bring our guest in, because I feel like it might be a longer story.
Fair enough. Okay, hold on here. Before we get into the off vibes, we're going to first give out some Patreon shout outs, because that's something we haven't done in a while. We've been getting it, and people have been generous, and I want to make sure you get your shout out. And if you don't know what we're talking about, Patreon is the best way to support the podcast. Just visit patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod, and you can contribute to the Patreon, and you get all sorts of little fun bonus things. For example, we give you a shout out on the podcast, and we guess your ethnicity based on your name alone. And we haven't done it in a while, and I would love to do it. So again, that's patreon.com/AsianNotAsianPod. And here we go. The first one, EV.
Fuck this.
Fuck this. What the fuck? EV. I think I got this person's email address. I think the email address gave it away. So I wanted to make it a little tricky for us. So EV.
Wait, you made it EV to make it
No.
test?
No. The submission, the name on the Patreon is EV, so I'm going to use that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So I'm going to assume that it's
electric
their
vehicle.
first. It's an electric vehicle.
Yes.
It's a car, and it's a Toyota, and it's Japanese.
Damn! Once again. Wow. You're so good at that.
I am pretty good at this.
That's like catching like a arrow in the air. You were, I didn't think I was like, I'm going to get you with this arrow. And you're like, caught it with my teeth.
Katniss Everdeen.
Katniss. Yes. So you crushed it.
Thank you.
What the fuck? Yeah,
Japanese.
You're a Japanese electric vehicle. You're a Nissan Leaf or something similar.
Yes.
That's what you are, EV.
Very quiet, efficient. Doesn't take up too much space.
Although, high maintenance. Ooh.
Oh, that sounds like me.
Are you an electric vehicle,
Japanese, quiet, doesn't take up too much space, but high maintenance. That's me.
Welcome. It's 2026, and welcome to the American Auto Show. We're proud to introduce our newest electric vehicle, the Toyota Jenny Arimoto. It's small, it's efficient, high maintenance.
High maintenance, yeah.
will spiral.
Breaks down easily.
Breaks down easily. Needs. It's powered on edible. Weird. It's edible powered. Okay, so that's the first one, and the second one, Kyle Konishi.
Oh.
Boom.
Why do I always do this? I do this thing where I guess one, and the next one's clearly the one I just guessed earlier.
Exactly. Yeah.
Half Japanese.
Oh, you're gonna go half because of the Kyle?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel a lot of Japanese American people named Kyle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
I guess Kyle is also just a name that was very popular in the 90s.
Word.
Wasn't it?
Yeah,
Early
that's
90s?
true. That's true. I see that. I see a lot of Kyles. I'm seeing puka shell necklaces. I'm seeing that.
Like tips.
Frosted
What do you call it?
tips.
Frosted tips.
The frosted tips. Or maybe maybe they're throwing us a loop, and Kyle Kenoshi is the electric vehicle.
Oh wow.
The 2025 Kyle Kenoshi. It is. It's got frosted tips. Konishi. Oh, my bad. That is, I think we nailed it. And we got one electric vehicle, Asian American, and we have one half Japanese.
Yeah.
Asian American. And if you want to get up on this, just visit patreon.com/Asian, not Asian pod. Yeah, and if you're enjoying the show, feel free to drop us a review. We've gotten some really awesome reviews. We got a weird one the other day.
Which one?
The one that was like, it was like a quote unquote bad review.
Yeah.
What did it say?
That we're juvenile?
Yes. I wasn't offended because
I was offended.
Were you? Why?
No, I'm not offended, but I don't like bad feedback.
Oh, you don't like bad feedback. See,
I break easily.
You're breaking down again. I need to give you another edible. I think I wasn't, because that felt like it feels like that felt like a bot wrote that. You know what I'm saying?
It did. Well, I was kind of like, we're two comedians who just talk about whatever the fuck we want.
Yeah.
How could it not be juvenile?
What is this person listening to? Like The Economist all the time?
Yeah, seriously. And also, we talk about buttholes a lot less since I've joined.
Way less. And our discussion about monetary policy has increased tremendously. Also, like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, what did you expect?
That's right. Okay, you made me feel better.
Also, I'm like 41. How am I juvenile?
You're a father.
I'm a dad.
You sustain the life of another human being.
It is such a, it is. And if somebody calls you juvenile, it's just like, you know, that guy's, I don't know, like 19, you know, listens to like seduction podcasts. Oh, so sophisticated.
Yeah. Whoever wrote that, say that to my face.
He can't, because he's a bot. But yeah, leave us a review. You can leave that a review on the Apple Podcast app. You can leave. Please give us 5 stars, or give us 5 stars and call us juvenile. It doesn't matter. You can also follow us on Spotify, and if you're watching us on YouTube, you can always subscribe and hit the like button and leave us a comment. Also, call us juvenile. It doesn't matter. Leave a comment. As long as you leave a comment, it's all good. And yeah, it'll be that's what you can do to help support the podcast. Let's jump into it now. So we like to start. Should we bring on our guest first?
Yeah, bring him in.
Let's bring on our guest. He's been waiting patiently. He's checking on his phone, and I just like this guy. Okay, our guest this week is a podcaster, comedian. I don't know if you still call yourself that. Don't talk yet.
You don't exist yet.
You don't exist yet. I don't know if he calls himself a comedian, but we'll see. Medical school candidate, potential coding boot camp trainee. You can't talk yet.
Person mentioned a couple times on the pod.
A couple times. He's definitely a friend of the pod. Gotta have him over. Him and his lovely partner. It's Brian Park, everyone. Yay!
Yay! Wait. Man, you didn't have to roast me like that.
There was no roasting.
Everything was factual.
Everything is factual.
We checked. We had our fact checkers.
You're definitely a podcaster.
Yeah.
True.
For sure.
True.
I don't know if you call yourself a comedian because you don't do stand-up as much. And
Sure.
that's not a roast at all. That's just a fact, and that's totally fine if you don't. I don't know. That's the first thing we can ask you. Are you still doing comedy?
I would consider myself a comedian. I think,
Sure.
Assuming that you have to do stand-up. Stand-up is the only prerequisite to being a comedian. Is quite a juvenile take. But
Oh, drag
we found
us.
the reviewer.
It was Brian the whole time.
You son of a
He's
bitch.
trying to sink us.
no, when you kept saying the word juvenile or juvenile, and I just
Yeah,
thought,
you say juvenile.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
is
I'm
that
not roasting you for the pronunciation, but I just kept thinking of that song "Slow Motion" by Juvenile.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I like it like that. I don't know what slow motion for me.
Yeah. Okay. And now it's become a mature podcast.
Now it's a very mature
Yes,
podcast.
yes.
Although it does mature, it is mature because look how old we are and talking about that,
I know,
that
seriously.
song. That song's mad old.
Oh yeah, we just aged ourselves.
Well, you know, you'll always be a comedian to me, Brian.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can
No,
always-
but yeah. So please refer to me as potential coding bootcamp trainee.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that is my new title.
That's
Thank you
what-
for having me on the pod.
Jenny told me that you were considering it, and again, that's not a roast because I've
Yeah.
also thought that.
Yeah.
I was like, I was talking to Mary Sella. You know Mary Sella.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
we were talking about all the things that are in our lives, and I was like, I've been doing this, whatever this is,
Yeah.
creative stuff, for like 8 years, and I'm like, I could have gotten a PhD. You know,
Right,
for
right.
the amount of energy I put into it.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm like, should I be focusing instead on my coding, a coding boot camp? I was like, I need to make money for my little baby.
Yeah.
And I think the podcast market is saturated. So maybe coding bootcamp is the way to go. What do you think?
I think it's just the natural cycle of being an adult in society, where if you are in your late 20s and above and you're not a doctor, lawyer, tech person, or in finance, then at some point you have weighed the decision to enroll in a coding bootcamp.
Yeah.
Wow, that is so real.
Yeah.
I'm a tech person, so I never once thought about it.
But you never thought about doing a coding bootcamp, right, Jen?
No, I know that it's hell for me, for my brain.
Yeah.
Like I tried to take just some courses to see what it would feel like at my first, when I was 22.
Yeah.
Right.
I hated it. This is so boring. I'd rather write on my Tumblr. That was what I was thinking in 2013.
Write on my Tumblr.
I'm just gonna write in my Tumblr.
Write on my Tumblr. I love it. Let's jump into it. Jenny, do you want to go first? What
Yeah,
kind
I
of
can go
Asian were
first.
you this week?
I was an abandoned Asian.
Abandoned?
Yeah. I had 4 very close friends move out of New York this past month.
Oh, shit.
Which is also why I was super busy the
Yeah.
past couple of weeks, is because I had so many going away things, or just trying to spend as much time as I could. They're both couples. So 2 couples moved out. One moved out to start a life in the suburbs of Michigan.
Shouts.
And then my other friends just moved this past Thursday to LA, which is the classic migration.
The photographer.
Yes, he took our photos.
Nice.
And they're my dear close friends.
Sure.
And so I've been really busy up until this point, and I think now I have the space to reflect that I have lost a lot of people that I spend time with in person in New York, in a 3-week span. And so I'm back in therapy, and my therapist's so you're mourning those losses. I was it's not a loss. We'll text still. And she's yeah, but it's
You won't see
different.
them
It's
as
different than spending time every weekend with them.
Yeah.
And I was that's a good point.
Damn.
So I'm kind of haven't quite hit the point where I feel it yet, because it's so recent.
Yeah.
Literally 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But I'm sure gonna come to terms with the fact that I'm gonna have space in my calendar now, and I'm gonna need to find other ways to fill that.
But I was thinking, Jenny, that I feel you have a lot of friends. At your birthday, you seem to have tons of people.
I do have a lot of friends.
There you go.
I have a lot of friends, but they were friends. They were the ones that I would go to when I could talk to about anything.
Dang.
The ones that moved to Michigan, we used to have this was implemented in the pandemic. We would see each other every Friday.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, I told you, yeah, because I take an edible and go on a walk.
Right. Oh, I know. Okay, this one. Yes, there you go.
And so that was literally every week, at least once a week. We would
Wow.
spend 5 hours together
Wandering
on
around
Friday.
the park or whatever. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's things like that where they had occupied built-in time with me.
Yeah.
So I do have a lot of friends, and I'm sure I can find people to get closer to, but it's just mourning the loss of very, very close friends.
That's tough, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how long how long were these friends in New York for?
All for a while, before I moved here.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So my friend, the ones that you met last weekend, the photographer.
Yeah.
They were here, 7 to
I see.
10 years.
Okay. I have this theory for a while that if there's a cutoff point for a lot of people around 3 or 4, and a lot of people are kind of you know what, the subway sucks, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I just was wondering if maybe that was what was going on.
No, it was the weather.
Oh, really?
The weather broke him. Yeah.
Because it's too hot?
Too cold.
Oh, right. We were talking
Isn't
about
Michigan
this.
also very cold?
He's moving to LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There is no weather in LA.
Why did I think Michigan?
Because my other two friends moved
Try
to
to
Michigan.
keep up, Brian.
Try
Yeah.
to keep up.
Come on.
Okay.
Okay.
My other 2 friends moved to Michigan to buy a home and start a family.
Oh, nice.
That sounds so nice.
I know, I
probably
want that.
attend a coding boot camp. That's
They're
the way
not
to
comedians.
No.
The ones moving to Michigan, obviously.
They studied comp sci. They don't need no coding boot camp. Fuck. How else would they afford a house?
That's true. Wow. Well, we were saying before we were starting to record that, you and I, we should hang out.
Well, yeah, Mikey went, Jenny, why don't we hang out?
Why don't
and I
we
was
hang
like,
out?
dude, because we hang out a lot every week.
That's true.
That's true.
But I'm happy to.
Yeah.
I love hanging out off mic.
But it's hard when you do a podcast
I
together
know.
because then it becomes this
Right.
friendship becomes sublimated into a business
I
partnership.
know.
That's very
Yeah.
true. This is a very unusual relationship, I would say.
With me?
Yeah. In the
With Jenny specifically.
yeah.
With me specifically?
the podcast host, the podcast co-host relationship
Yeah.
It's like we're what's the word that they used to have, work wife?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that, where you're like more than buddies, but you're like very focused on this one thing in particular, and you spend a lot of time talking to each other, which is so weird.
And it's also weird because sometimes you'll have like conversation that's like private about our lives, and then it'll almost be like save it for the podcast.
Yeah. That's another thing.
And then it's weird because you're like, well, in a normal friendship, I just talk about it, but we're like, we have to keep it fresh so the reactions on mic are real.
Yes, because we've turned human emotion into content, and that is that's the real contribution of this generation.
Yes.
To the industry of the world is turning this into money. I don't know,
It's like,
so.
Yeah.
Anyways,
for our fans.
It is for our fans. So, Brian, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was what kind of Asian was I this week? I was a stereotypical Asian.
Okay.
God. Okay, go for it, Brian. What does that mean?
Yeah.
What were you doing? Like, what? You adopt a water buffalo? What did you do?
No. No. What kind of Asian was I? Well, I'll just describe what I was up to this week.
Okay,
so
we'll tell you what kind of Asian.
Okay, so earlier this week, I went to the U.S. Open.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I've been sick.
Yeah, I've been watching.
I love tennis.
Did you see anybody
Big
dope?
tennis week.
Yeah, I saw Emma Raducanu and Diego Schwartzman, but I feel tennis is there's a lot of Asians who play tennis on the junior level. I grew up playing with a lot of Asians. Okay. Yeah, so that's why I say it's like
we don't know anything. We're like,
stereotypical.
Yeah, I see.
So I went to the US Open. That was fantastic. That was great. And then I was an Uncle Asian. I went gift shopping because I'm going to visit my family soon, and I went gift shopping for my niece and nephew.
Cute.
So Uncle Asian. And then I saw the movie Whiplash again recently.
Oh, okay.
And that...
That's a very Asian thing to do, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
No, I don't know. I want to hear. Yeah.
Well, no, like I see a lot of myself in the main character. Like Andrew Neiman of like the cost of sacrificing it all in the pursuit of greatness.
Right.
And I'm not the same person that I was when I first saw it, where I was like, yes, that's what I need to do.
Yeah.
But it's still like in me.
Yeah.
Like those embers are still burning inside of me, and I feel that is like Tiger Mom mentality of like, what do you mean you need friends? What do you mean you need a fun personal life? Like, do you want to be great or not?
Yeah.
And I was watching, I'm like, for one, it's a great film, but I saw like elements of myself coming back out of like, yeah, what am I doing? Like, fuck having fun.
Yeah, it's about the grind.
And then
time to hustle and grind.
You went to the U.S. Open and just ran out on the court, and it was like, give me the ball. I can still got a shot.
Well, the timing is important because I saw Whiplash after the U.S. Open, so as I was watching Whiplash, I was like, you fucking idiot. Why did you go to the U.S. Open? You should have been doing this other thing.
I see.
Time.
That is so real. Like the need to you feel guilty about not being productive every moment of every day. I have that all the time.
No, but like it's a very Tiger Mom mentality, Whiplash, because I saw it with my mom. And my mom, it's like, for those of you who haven't seen it, it is it's somber. It's a somber film.
Sure.
Like, you know, it's an exploration of like what you're sacrificing.
Yeah.
And at the end, it's kind of a sad ending. But my mom saw it as like, wow, like, yep, this is normal. Like, this is what it really takes. Like, you see that? That's what you need to do. And I'm like, no, this is, I think the director was trying to convey, like, is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Yeah.
I think, in the movie, I think it's like a very ambiguous ending. Is it like good or is it bad?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because when I watched it, I was like, this is awesome. He like really like stepped up and like found something in himself or whatever. Right. But then I read these other things online and I was like, oh, this is actually him like being tortured to the point where he breaks and like this is what you have
He's
to
like
have.
Submitting himself to an abusive life.
And but to kind of take it back, first of all, yes, you definitely were a stereotypical Asian. Congratulations.
Thank
that
you.
was
Thank
it.
you.
We didn't believe the panel here. We wanted to pass judgment.
You wanted to cancel me as soon as I said it.
I'm always trying to cancel you, Brian.
Constantly. You're always saying such weird, crazy things. But yeah, I think I will accept your offer.
Yes.
I don't know if a lot of our listeners know that you were a very competitive tennis person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like up until I don't know when recent. Like
high school, but like from the ages like 5 to 14, it was like all my life.
Did you like I don't know like what the word
like
is?
I competed in tournaments like on a national level.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
Were you trying to get to the US Open thing? You know what I'm saying? Or did you?
That's what I wanted, but you know, my parents had other plans for me.
So it was your parents' fault that you didn't achieve greatness. You know?
Specifically my dad. No, I still love him. But tennis is there's a lot of parallels with stand-up.
Sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of my personality quirks and how I view the world was shaped by tennis.
How so?
It's a very solitary sport.
Yeah.
There's, it requires no collaboration really.
You're not allowed to collaborate.
You're left
really.
to your own devices.
Yeah, you can't have coaching.
Oh,
right.
that is so fascinating.
That's why I compare. It's very pure in that sense compared to other sports where you're going mano-a-mano with one, and you're like trying to beat the other person who's across from you.
Yeah.
Whereas like in other individual sports, you're kind of like competing against yourself because there's like a score element.
Yeah. Oh, that's
like,
a good point.
Right.
Yeah,
like golf,
like,
you're competing against the course.
Right.
But like everyone's competing against the course.
Right.
Gymnastics, like similarly, or like you're trying to like get a high score, but in tennis, like you're just purely trying to beat the other person across from you. And yeah, I think it's like a known thing that tennis players are kind of like a bit off mentally.
Whoa.
Because not off, but it's a sport that's like I think McEnroe said like it's tennis is like a sport that's exists like the court is 6 inches between your ears, like it's all in the mind.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I can see how it's very mentally like.
Yeah. If you look at tennis players, they all have like tics and
yeah.
They always talking to themselves.
Yeah.
And stand-up is like that too. Yeah.
Did you know that Netflix has different content depending on where you're located? And not accessing all of Netflix's content while paying for Netflix is like buying a house but not being able to use all the rooms. Not on my watch! That's why you gotta use ExpressVPN. The way ExpressVPN works is it lets you change your online location so that streaming services think you're someplace else. Its servers are located all over the world so you can access all kinds of new content. Plus, you get to feel like a real-life hacker. With ExpressVPN, I was able to watch Inception on Canadian Netflix and Top Gear on UK Netflix. Incepted! Just open the app, select the location, connect, and you're all set. ExpressVPN has blazing fast speed, and it works on all your devices. Plus, ExpressVPN encrypts your data so no weirdos can track your web activity. Hacking! So be smart. Stop paying full price for streaming services and only getting access to a fraction of their content. Get your money's worth at expressvpn.com/Asian. Don't forget to use my link at expressvpn.com/Asian to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN for free. Now a word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. I wanted to talk about a time when I really got stuck on a problem. It was when I was first thinking about making that big move to New York, and instead of trying to figure things out like where I was going to live, I just focused on how afraid I was. It can be tough to train your brain to stay in problem-solving mode when you're under a lot of stress and facing challenges, but a therapist can help you find a better mindset so you can accomplish your goals. I use my therapy experience to help me realize when I'm having intrusive, unhelpful thoughts and to refocus on solving my problems. I use the skills I learned in therapy to this day. I even use them today. Therapy can be like a set of tools I carry around with me everywhere I go. If you're thinking about doing therapy, consider BetterHelp. It's affordable and it's online, which is important because I think anything that makes therapy more accessible is great. When you want to be a better problem solver, therapy can get you there. Visit betterhelp.com/Asian today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/Asian. You know what else is also like that? Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Oh my God!
Boom!
No.
Brought it back to the straight energy.
That it always comes back to this.
Yes, this takes me back to the OG Asian, not Asian
Oh, you know
days.
what this is like? Fleshlights,
I used
dude.
to be nice about it and be like, okay, I'll let this happen. And increasingly, I'm like, no more combat sport talk.
You know what?
You're alone all the time.
But you know what the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu reminds me of
Yes,
is
Jenny, yes.
washing
You see
your
this?
fleshlight in the dishwasher.
No! Dude, the fleshlight hasn't come up at all since I've been on this podcast.
You're getting one for Christmas, okay? This is what's gonna happen. Yeah, I have heard you're very good. You know Ben Kim,
Yeah.
comedian too, and I was like, oh, is Brian
Great
really
guy.
Yeah, he's very nice.
Yeah.
He's an awesome guy, and very funny guy. And he tells me he plays with you, and like when he plays with you, you're like super intense, like aggressive.
Oh, really?
Brian Park. Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you take it. It's not fun. This is not fun in games.
I don't know.
I think
is
it's
a-
fun.
Oh.
It's fun.
because he's crushing someone. He's like, I have fun crushing other people.
No, but I take it seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like,
Wow.
it's a
Yeah.
mental game.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm gonna crush Ben.
Okay. Well,
Well, that sounds like a
Sounds like
mentally taxing week. Honestly.
it does sound
Really?
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I loved it. I loved it. It was a great week.
Okay.
That's great.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great.
Well, Mike, what kind of Asian were you this week?
I was an MT Asian, not empty like empty vessel. MTA,
Oh,
Metropolitan
MTA.
Transit Authority Asian.
Wait, I think I
Oh.
saw you post something about this.
MT Asian. So
Okay, what
what's
does that
happening right
mean?
for people who don't know? There's this is going to be so boring, but like there's an initiative by the MTA to instill congestion pricing in Manhattan, which is so basically we set up all these cameras everywhere, and they've done this in other cities like London and stuff like that. So there's all these cameras that like track cars.
I see.
Okay, and it's a below 60th Street to I don't know like Canal or something like that.
Uh-huh.
And basically, if you drive your car into Manhattan over a certain amount of time or certain hours or whatever, they will ticket you. You know, not ticket you. You have to pay a fare.
Yeah.
They mail it to
Oh.
you, right, or whatever, or you can pay with Easy Pass or whatever. So this is a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, and a big part of it is like they will use this money to bolster the MTA, right, the subway
Okay.
and all these things. It's a huge like thing.
Mm.
Okay, everybody's like fighting about it, right? You know, everybody has a big opinion. So the MTA has like 6 different meetings you could attend on Zoom if you want to say your piece about it, and you would have 3 minutes, right?
Okay.
And there's all these things. So this is the most fucking New York. I know now. I've reached peak New York now because I signed up for this, and I was like, I'm gonna speak my mind, right?
Uh-huh.
So I signed up for it. Out of 6, I signed up for the 6th one, and so that was on Wednesday. They start the meeting at 10 a.m. I am 199th out
Wow.
of 300 to speak.
Wow.
Everyone who signs up can speak.
Okay.
Now you might wait all day,
Right.
but
Right.
that's the rule. So,
Do you have to be on the Zoom the whole time?
I don't think you have to be on Zoom the whole time, but I was.
Okay. Wow.
So I waited. Started at 10. I went on at 3 o'clock.
Oh my
5 hours
God.
of waiting.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's like a comedy open mic.
Yeah. Seriously.
I was saying the whole time in my mind that I was like, okay, I have trained my whole life for this.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
I have to wait 5 hours for 3 minutes.
speak for 3
Yeah.
minutes.
To speak for 3 minutes, and there's a bunch of cranks on the
Yeah.
meeting, just saying all sorts of crazy stuff. I was like, this is what I've trained my last 8 years to do. So, and it was such an interesting New York experience. All kinds of people were speaking, and I hate to say it, but so many times, as soon as you saw the other person so it's on Zoom, right?
Yeah.
And so the different people would pop on, and as soon as you saw them, you kind of knew what they were going to say.
That's hilarious.
You knew there was like,
Yeah.
I know
what
like,
you mean.
I'm from New Jersey, and they were saying all these things, and sometimes people would slide in some sort of like dig against Black Lives Matter, and I was
gosh,
like,
okay.
what the fuck? And
oh
then,
my God.
but so like, and then you would have like these people from the Upper East Side who are like, wanted it to be like this because my chauffeur has to do this or whatever.
Yeah.
So what was your angle against the congestion pricing?
So I am for congestion
Oh,
pricing.
okay, you're for it.
I am
Got
for
it.
congestion pricing because I think that we need to support infrastructure.
Okay.
But I wrote this little thing, and and it was like a straightforward thing where I was like, we need to support infrastructure, and I had put a little joke in there where I was like, the last thing we want New York to become is Los Angeles, right? And then I was looking at it, and I was waiting for 5 hours, and I was
Yeah.
like, why don't I just make this whole thing a joke? So I did. So I made the whole
my
thing a
God,
joke.
okay.
So I made I wrote a whole bit.
Damn.
The whole
You
thing.
could have been a good civil citizen, like a
Yeah.
good, like do your civic duty, but instead you're like, do it. Your comedy brain was like, do it for the bit.
Well, you have 5 hours to sit there. You're like, I don't know what's real anymore.
I went back and forth, and I was like, should I make this a bit? Is that stupid? And I was like, A, yes it is, but B, this is who I am.
Sure,
Why did the scorpion
lean in?
Why did the scorpion sting the frog or whatever as they're crossing the river? Because I am the scorpion.
That's who you are.
This is who I am. I will hurt myself in order to do this art form.
Yeah.
And so I wrote this bit where I was like, we cannot have congestion pricing, because if we fund the MTA and the subway gets better, what will New Yorkers complain about? And that was like the entire conceit of the whole thing. I was like, I think about my son. What will he complain about in the future? What will we complain about? Because clearly our airports are getting better, and that's terrible.
Yeah.
So like, that was like the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So I do it, and it's I'm doing it to silence.
Yeah,
right?
that's the other part.
yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get laughs.
No, absolutely not. So I do it to silence, and then but and it was like fairly nerve-wracking to do, because I've been sitting there. So I do it, and then I'm kind of like proud and ashamed of myself that I did it.
Yeah.
Because and you know what the best part is? This officially has to enter the record. So like somebody is typing this if, and I'm seeing my jokes come up onto the screen, and I'm like, this is so bad. You can watch it on YouTube. I will link it, because all the YouTube, all the Zoom meetings have to be put up on public, for the public. So I'll find it for you. I'm at 5 hours and 5 minutes or some shit like that.
God.
Wow.
And so I will cut it up, and I watched it the other night, and again, I don't know why, but Gina is so supportive of all this. She was like, that was cool that you did that, and I was like, you might have some sort of tumor, Gina, because like that is crazy that you supported me, because even me, I was like, I am so stupid for doing this. But you know what, also, and this is real New York of me, I have a voice, and I'm allowed to say any stupid shit I want.
It's true, those are your 3 minutes. You could have done whatever you wanted.
It's kind of like SNL in a way. You got your little sketch on air, and now you got to watch it.
I watched it, and it was so funny. I was like watching, I was like looking, and like I don't even know if they were paying attention, because come on,
sure,
like the other people who are on the meeting, is like they've been on there since like 10 in the morning. So they may have muted me. Who knows?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it was something I did, and it was like, I am so engaged now. I voted in the fucking primaries. Yeah. I was like, this is what we got to do.
I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I did too.
Oh my God.
Okay, look at us voters.
Voting pride. So this is I am fucking the worst enemy of someone, of a new New York. I'm an engaged New Yorker. Okay.
Yeah.
You think I've got something better to do than waste 5 hours of my day? You're wrong. Okay.
This is some serious bragging rights.
Yeah.
You can lord over people. Like, you're officially, you think you're a real New Yorker?
Yeah.
Well, you're not a real New Yorker until you wait 5 hours on a Zoom call to complain about the MTA.
Yeah, exactly. You should. Did you tweet it?
I'm gonna cut it up.
Did you tweet it?
I watched it, and I was like, I wish I had a better camera setup. I really did, but I had to take care of my son.
My God.
So.
Oh God.
But yeah, so it was. That was me, man. MT Asian.
MT
Wow.
Asian.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I'm proud of you.
I felt.
I can't
good.
wait to watch the 3-minute clip. I will
It's so
not be
bad.
watching anything.
You have to do a lot of
beyond that.
scrubbing through.
I know, seriously.
I'll find. I'll cut it up and I'll put it on. I'll put it on everything. It was very dumb, but it was. That was it. Ryan, thanks for coming onto the show.
Thanks for having me.
And we've been fucking around already for 30 minutes, which is
God.
Wow.
amazing. That's what I will love.
A record. What?
A record short.
You're just
amount of fucking around.
Yeah. You just got such a little like subtle. Your humor reminds me a lot of my wife's humor, where it's just like you'll say stuff, but I actually don't think you're trying to be funny, but hilarious. It's hilarious. You're just great.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just want to have a general catch up with you because I haven't talked to you in a while.
Okay.
You know?
Sure.
How's everything going?
Good place to start.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, this is a general catch up. How is everything going? I don't know. I'm good. I'm in a happy and loving relationship. Yeah, I'm good. I'm overall good. I think right now, I'm annoyed with just content in general.
Okay.
Yeah.
You mean your content or other other people's or what?
Just the whole idea of Caitlin Chan, who is an incredible cartoonist who I collaborate with frequently. She sent me this article titled like "Influencer Creep," and
okay.
Yeah, and I know Fumi's talked about the concept of creep. Like I'm talking in terms of like a brand campaign, like
scope creep.
Scope creep.
Yes, we love talking about scope creep.
You've talked about scope creep.
You know scope creep?
I feel like in the context of tech, yes.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
Okay.
And so what this sociologist wrote about was how the job of an influencer, like those parameters have sort of creeped into all of our lives and everything.
Shit.
Of how, regardless of what profession you're in, everyone's like in a way trying to be an influencer.
Oh yeah.
Like that's why on TikTok you see so many like nurses and mechanics.
Yeah.
Woods like lumberjacks and
Yeah.
everything.
Right.
And,
carpenters. And
yeah,
stuff.
and I'm very exhausted and I hate everything about it. So that's where I'm at right now.
Wow.
I feel you.
Yeah, I guess everything is content and everything. You know, a similar thing. I always felt that I don't know if people talk about this as much, but I remember when I was like applying for jobs or whatever, people would always talk about your personal brand.
Yeah.
You know.
Uh-huh.
So I feel like the idea, like branding, as an idea, like moved from marketing into our like everyday lives.
Yeah.
And now everybody
like individuals.
Yeah, into individuals. And so what is the Jenny Aramoto brand?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you think about like people might go all the way to coming up with a logo for yourself, but at the very least I think a lot of people do like a nice headshot on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like what does this headshot say about me? You know, like what is my little voice when I write my little on my website or whatever when people find me. And I don't think it's obviously for everybody, but that's like an idea that I feel like leapt from this little area and has infected like the mainstream. And I think maybe this influencer thing is kind of the same thing.
Oh, absolutely. But in addition to that, it's the type of content that has become so pervasive in that like the whole notion of like personal branding and like really solidifying like what is your expertise and like being deliberate about that. Younger generations, I think Gen Z find that really corny. And that's where like the generational divide is happening.
Oh, yeah.
And, that's why there's so much. If you go on TikTok or if you go on YouTube, like that kind of content's really popular where you want a behind the scenes look of like a Big Brother type of content of like, get ready with me or this is what the day in the life is like or like look at what I'm up to. And for me as a consumer, I'm like, this isn't. Everyone's just developing unhinged narcissism and feels like they're special. Like be the main character in your own life, where there's nothing deliberate about what you're producing anymore. Like everything is just like a behind the scenes look of let me just have a camera on me 24/7. And then I'm spinning this into content. And that's across all professions. Like you see doctors like dancing and all that stuff where like. It's just so gross to me. I don't know. Like before I had trouble posting like funny sketches or like funny things that I wrote just out of like a fear of judgment or being hard, and also in addition to being hard on myself in general. But now it's like the stakes have gotten even lower, but people want more quantity more than ever.
That's
why
like way more
we're
quantity.
comedians and we see our comedy peers now are like posting stuff of like same thing like get ready with me like this is what the day in the life of a comedian is like.
Yes,
and I'm like,
a lot of people do that.
I thought our job was to be fucking funny and write jokes and like be deliberate about our work. Everything is just that. I feel. So that's what I mean. Like everyone's becoming an influencer, and so and I'm not absolving myself from it. Like I make a podcast where I push out content every week.
Oh, same.
And
I don't.
Oh yeah, fine.
And so in a lot of ways, like I've talked about it a lot on this podcast, like. Oh, I forgoed med school to do this thing and that, but more than ever, I'm like, fuck. I really wish, like, knowing who I am today as a 32-year-old man and what my values are, I wish I was a doctor more than ever because it's
this is why I have you on. Yes.
No, like.
I love it. Come on.
I wish more than ever. Like
It's not too late, baby.
It's not too late, but the idea of like. Just being able to do work that you don't need a social media.
Sure.
You get to impact people in real life, and you get to go to sleep well at night knowing that you gave yourself in service to others.
Yeah.
Nothing better.
You did your role.
Nothing
right.
better.
You don't think that if you
no
were
social media, it's great. Nothing
go,
better.
Jenny, go ahead. You're about to.
This
you're
is
about
such
to get,
a Brian conversation.
Yes, that's why I had you on, baby. But
Nothing better.
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I don't know if you'd be getting great sleep. I see my doctor friends, and they are jealous of our lives.
Oh.
You know, like they don't have time to do anything. They're like, you know, the healthcare system here is broken, whatever. I'm not saying, I'm not trying
fucked.
to like whatever.
Totally fucked.
Right. So I think like that, it's a very nice lens to look at it.
Yeah, it's a nice.
Obviously.
I'm only picking the hits.
Yeah, the hits, the good part of it. I agree with you though, in terms of like the actual discussion about the way that social media has like shifted everyone into an influencer, or like the desire to be authentic all the time has also manifested in showing every part of your life on camera. And I find that horrifying.
Yeah.
And exhausting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think that's what scares me. Not scares me about Gen Z specifically, but like the generation of people who have grown up with social media existing at all times, and when I see kids with their like the camera on them at all times, I'm like, that's so scary.
But I feel like we sound so old right now.
I know we are old.
Like, oh, I'm so scared for like our parents' generation. Like, look at all those tattoos. Aren't they worried about jobs in the future?
I know, but it's scary. I mean, like I like read a book. I forgot what it was called years ago. That was like it's like a love story set in the future, and it's like supposed to be like Black Mirror dystopian. Like you have to like live stream like your life to like get a certain number of like social points to be able to like buy things, like something like that.
Yeah.
And I remember reading it being like, this is crazy, it's never gonna happen. You know, like this is like 15 years ago, 15 years ago.
Sure.
And then now it is happening. It is kind of happening. Like it's like people are live streaming things all the time. It's like I kind of like see it slowly like manifesting. I was watching I don't know if we should bring this, but Gabby Hanna.
Yeah.
Like
well,
TikTok,
we were talking
like
about that.
TikTok breakdown.
Did you know what was
happening?
No,
I don't know who Gabby Hanna is.
She's like, I think she's like a Vine person. I barely know who she is, but she was having some sort of like mental episode and was posting like truly so many TikToks a day.
Yeah.
And then everyone was concerned, so like calling the police to like have them check up on her or whatever. And then another guy went to her house.
Oh.
Like an anonymous stranger.
Oh my God.
Went to his house, and he started posting TikToks from his point of view as him entering her house as a guest and like checking in on her. And everyone's real time looking at this. I don't even want to see this, so I'm trying to like scroll past it so I don't see it anymore on TikTok.
This kind of reminds me of the movie Spree.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
It's like a movie about a like aspiring like influencer actor who like decides to like kill people for clout.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
But look, watching it real time of the stranger in his bathroom. Like I'm in her bathroom right now, and then she's like, this guy is like using the bathroom. Like you see it from both POVs, real time. They're uploading these onto TikTok.
Oh, for sure.
And it's like I was like, this is, and I don't watch Black Mirror. This is Black Mirror. I think like this is very scary.
It's just it is. I mean, it's everything you said. Like everything got turned into content. Even the person who's
content.
You know what I'm saying? You just imagine
because that reads as more authentic.
Yeah.
Like being extemporaneous and not like
real time
showing like you were like deliberate about it. That is quote unquote, I guess, chuggy or corny or whatever. It's all about being like, authenticity. Like let's just ride with it and see what happens.
Oh my God.
But I'm like, oh, that's just lazy and
wow.
Okay, we're taking two.
I mean, did the people who eventually, you know, like the EMTs, did they have content streaming as well?
I know. I don't think they did.
Because that would have been fire, dude.
I would have watched that. That's authentic as shit.
Dude, oh my gosh. That, yes. Oh my, wow. Yeah. That's it is happening, man.
It's totally happening. And, you know, I'm not ignorant. I'm not dumb. Like we're in the entertainment industry, so
sure.
You need to do it to a certain extent.
I have to do it.
Yeah.
It's part of a job. Like that's just how I see it. And you know, like everyone else, like you have parts of your job that you don't like.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you know, I'm trying to make more. I'm writing a lot more because the practice is more deliberate, and I miss that feeling of like, you know, really being precious about your work and not feeling this pressure to like release it out into the world.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so weird.
So that's what I'm enjoying about it.
That's good.
It's so weird though, because like last night I was editing the podcast, and then afterwards I was like, I fired up final draft, and I was like working on my thing, and I was like, this is, I feel like it's fun to do.
Yeah.
It's difficult, and I'm doing it, and I'm like, this is like the opposite time use of like making a, whatever, like you were saying, like a online content thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is, it was just like, without even trying to value them, it was just like, I was just trying to like weigh them in my mind. You know what I'm saying? Like one of these things, do you see what I'm saying? Like, I guess like the time expenditure of these things, one you like and one you don't like, but one you feel like you have to do, and one you feel like, this is just for me, but it might not lead to anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I know. It's
like it always like
the payoff is different.
The payoff is so different. You know what I'm saying? And it's like a scary thing to think about deep down, where I'm like, I do ultimately want people to see the stuff I make, and that is like the intoxicating trade-off that you get when you do a TikTok, right? Like TikTok promises you like, hey, you put out this thing and there's a chance that people will see it. And deep down, I'm a fucking narcissist. You know what I'm saying? Right?
Yeah.
Like that we all kind of are in a way, right? And we do want people to see our shit.
This is where I feel like I'm turning into my parents big time. Like a seismic shift has happened inside of me. Soon as I now I'm like well into my early 30s, where even the TikTok thing, like I don't get that intoxicating feeling because I'm like, well, I'm not making money from this, so why the fuck would I do
another
it?
thing.
Yeah.
I definitely think about that.
Like at the end of the day, it's all about dollars here,
Okay, not for me. It's about the artistic fulfillment. No, but for me, I had this similar feeling this week where I felt very busy and overwhelmed. But I'm like, what do I prioritize? What, like my writing something?
Yeah.
Or like making a video?
Right.
Because like my videos a little bit, like I do a little bit more high touch stuff, where sometimes I do write for my videos that I don't get paid for.
Yeah.
But I also feel this, I don't know if you feel this, I feel beholden to the people who follow me to give them something.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel so bad that I take so much time in between, because I do like
it takes
2
a while.
videos a month, sometimes 1.
Yeah.
Because I'm like busy with my life.
Yeah.
But I feel beholden.
Oh.
It's like, not even, is it like, do I want to do it? It's literally like, I owe these people something.
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I feel that way just with my podcast, though.
Yeah.
Because every week they expect an episode, and there have been times where I'm really sick or just not feeling well, but I'll still record, and because I've treated it as work, like I have to show up and do the work. But with like social media and my TikTok and all that stuff, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about any of you.
That's nice. I give a lot of fucks.
I've talked about this before though, is I'm trying to get I am trying to get more like people to follow me on Instagram, but I found that like the amount of work it takes to write, perfect, record, and edit a stand-up bit versus just me having I did this the other week where it's just a picture of me and I'm like drinking coffee and there's a caption over me. In my head that says a funny thing. Yeah. Funny enough.
Right.
5 minutes to do that.
Right.
Way more engagement. And so that like it short circuits the quality time equation. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
It used to be like you poured a lot of time into something and you try really hard and you craft it and you make something good and you get rewarded. Mm-hmm. It doesn't work like that anymore. No. It's like the other thing. It's like it could be it just has to be like gettable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, Totally.
I threaten this so much. The second I figure it out, I make it somewhere, I'm making money off of writing or something like that, or I just fully give up on comedy, all these videos are getting deleted immediately.
Oh,
really?
You're not going to leave them up?
They're good, though.
I want to, like, delete my presence.
I know what you mean.
I want to, like, go to a Finsta. I downloaded BeReal. I'm going to be only on BeReal.
Whoa.
I'm going to be
I
so
don't
real.
use BeReal. Is it good?
I thought you were on. I added you.
Oh, I know. I've downloaded it one day, but I've never like interacted with it.
I've been on it for like
really
3
like
days, and I have like truly less than 10 people. Like, and they're like my close friends.
Oh, nice.
So it's fun. And also my friends who moved away. It's like a nice way to stay in touch. 'Cause I see what they're doing every day.
See, so yeah, I don't know. Be careful, okay?
Yeah, be careful.
It's
we're
a-
adding
it's
another
like
social
another
media.
social media
We're all
option.
going to be BeReal
Yeah.
influencers now. Oh, fuck. This episode brought to you by BeReal, everybody.
Yeah, imagine your cardiac surgeon needs to be real as he's
like,
performing
oh shit, I
on
only
you.
have 2 minutes.
Oh my god,
yeah.
everybody, okay, hold up the heart. Hold up the heart really high so I can see
I'm
and be
scrubbed in. I can't touch my phone.
I can't touch my phone. God damn it!
Grab it out of my scrubs.
Nurse, I need forceps and I need my ring
Might
light.
be real.
Brian, you've thank you for coming on the show. You have turned it into Feeling Asian because we have such a deep conversation here. I'm sure we've lost all of our listeners.
I feel like, did I bring the vibes down?
No, not at all. Not at all. But it's
Not
like,
at all.
this is like all the stuff that is like spinning in my brain constantly.
Yeah.
That and
But
watches.
me too, though.
I'm self-conscious about that.
Why?
I am too.
I think it's
Like,
you. I don't know if it's an Asian, not Asian thing, but I feel like when I hang out with you and Fumi, every so often, even when we're just like grabbing drinks, it'll be like, haha, like that's such a Brian thing. And it's oftentimes when I say something that's like kind of like neurotic or like thinky in a way.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, did I just bring the vibes down?
No.
It's not the vibes down. It for me, every time because Jenny would talk to me about like, oh, well, today Brian is thinking about becoming a truck driver or something like that. And here's the thing: is like yes, it's a very.
It is. Every 2 weeks, you're like, I think I'm doing this now. I'm like,
Yeah.
that didn't happen 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I'm going to go to Italy and learn to work with like goats. And I'm like, oh, that's such a Brian thing. But
That's the
here's
one
the thing:
constant is that I'm just gonna constantly think about being something.
reinventing yourself.
Yeah.
Reinventing myself.
But here's the thing.
Reinventing Anna. Here we go.
But here's the thing: is that on the one hand, yes, I will make fun of you, but on the other hand, like I feel you so deeply. You know what I'm saying? I'm perhaps not as like fluctuating as much, but
Sure.
I'm definitely there. I
You have all the
definitely
same thoughts.
I have. I remember a while ago you told me you're like, oh, I'm thinking about going to med school. I was like, do it, and then I haven't really thought about that hard, but I was like, people go back to med school when in their 40s. Maybe I could do it.
I'm not entertaining it because it's so
Right.
much school.
It's
It's
so
so
much work.
long.
Yeah.
And like I want to have a family one day, and I'm not trying to be in residency while also trying to help raise a toddler. Like
Yeah.
that sounds like fucking hell.
Yeah.
So I relate to you, Brian. That's
Yeah.
why you're on. And again, thank you for.
You're so relatable.
You're so relatable. I wish you made more content though, so I
make
could be more
content.
relatable to you.
Every day I wish I could relate to somebody on the internet. And so I'm hoping you can make more content so I relate.
See,
Oh, God.
Okay, let me just pitch to you a real quick content stream where every day you, hey, I'm Brian Park, and today I'm thinking about becoming a goat herder, and you like talk about that. That'd be really fun.
That would be a fun
But that's too,
YouTube series.
yeah,
If I
but-
just try a bunch of different jobs.
Yeah.
And then it's always open-ended of like, wait, what's that show? Oh, no, I was thinking of Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City. So it'll end with
Oh,
that kind of sign.
yeah.
I was like,
Where you're
yeah,
like typing. Like
I
you're
tried doing this, but then I realized,
So the question is,
Brian in the future.
do
Yeah.
I need to be a goat herder to
Yeah.
untap the goat herder
Yeah.
that was resting inside of me all along?
am I hurting the goats or are they hurting me? Oh man, Brian, we're gonna do a couple of voicemails. Is that cool?
Oh, I love it. Let's do it.
Okay, guys, I don't want you to freak out. I don't want you to get all fixated on this, but think about how dirty your butthole is right now. Yes, I said it. When's the last time you washed it after pooping? Never? You just use toilet paper? That makes it even worse. It's time you started washing your tush with the Hello Tushy bidet. I got one a long time ago. It was an anniversary gift. I love it. I tell you, I feel like that fancy French guy meme. You know the one I'm talking about. It's so cleansing. It's so nice. The Hello Tushy bidet attachment washes your bum with fresh water for a way better clean than toilet paper. Simply spray and pat dry it. And it attaches to your existing toilet. Even someone with a sociology degree like me can install it, all right? We want all of our listeners to have clean bums. Visit hellotushy.com/ANA to get 10% off plus free shipping right now. Go do it. That's hellotushy.com/ANA for 10% off.
Well, you know me, Mike. You know me, right?
I
And
know.
You know.
I know.
If you know
Dude.
this, if you know anything about me, you know that I'm out there.
yes.
I'm out there.
You're out there.
I'm out there pounding, and a lot of people are like, "For me, why are you so good at pounding?" And by a lot
Why?
of people,
Yeah. I always ask that. I don't even believe you.
By a lot of people, I just mean Mike. The secret is, it is Helix Sleep Mattress. Helix Sleep has a quiz that takes just 2 minutes to complete and matches your body type and sleep preferences to the perfect mattress for you. Why would you buy a mattress made for someone else? With Helix, you're getting a mattress that you know will be perfect for the way you sleep and pounding.
Everybody's unique and pounds uniquely, and Helix knows that. So they have several different mattress models to choose from. They have soft, medium, and firm. Wink, wink. Mattresses. Mattresses great for cooling you down if you get hot. And even a Helix Plus mattress for plus size sleepers because, hey, man, everybody needs love.
Just go to helixsleep.com/Asian. Take their 2-minute sleep quiz, and they'll match you to the customized mattress that will give you the best sleep/pound of your life.
They have a 10-year warranty, and you get to try it out for free for 100 nights, risk-free. They'll even pick it up for you if you don't love it, but you will.
Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners at helix.com/Asian.
That's helix.com/Asian for up to $200 off. And when you're doing your threesomes, 2 free pillows.
Now back to this.
Hey there, guys. It's CJ coming at you live from just outside of Washington, D.C. This past week, I've been what I would like to call a mixed bag Asian. By that, I mean I've experienced the two extremes of meshing super well in like a party environment. I'm cracking jokes. Sometimes there's a small like little semicircle around me. Everyone's laughing, having a good time. It's a total vibe. And then the other half of the time, I feel like I'm the odd man out. And this is because recently I've been going to see friends in New York. I grew up going to Staten Island all the time, in Brooklyn, as well as the Lower East Side to see family. And a lot of my friends moved there, and I've been making new friends who happen to have just moved to New York from Cali, specifically the Bay Area. And I'm realizing they haven't had the same racial experience I've had in terms of just like being Asian. On top of that, I'm mixed. I'm half Filipino, half white, so that's going to differ. But I've always thought about how I am to be perceived, if I'm Asian enough or not, or if I'm white enough. And being Southeast Asian has been making relating to these specifically like California Asian friends even more difficult, since they're all East Asian, except for one Viet friend, but homegirl doesn't tan. So me being half Filipino, I'm always asked like, you know, oh, like, don't you speak Spanish? Like, you have Spanish mixed in you anyway. And I shouldn't be offended by that, I guess, but my mom's literal DNA test says she's 100% Filipino, so it gets hard for me when other Asians kind of try to belittle the rich Southeast Asian heritage that the Philippines has. So my main thing on like being a mixed bag Asian is, do you guys have any tips or tricks on being more gentle with myself, or things to do to help me experience embracing my identity as a half Asian woman?
Boom.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow. As an East Asian from California, I feel
As
like
an
I
East-
have nothing to
You're the
to say
problem.
that I'm the problem.
You're the problem.
You're the problem, Jenny.
So
I'm the problem statement.
So this person has kind of a mixed experience about being Asian, which, hey, you're in the right place, baby.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any kind of immediate reactions here, any suggestions. It is tricky.
Yeah, I can certainly relate to a lot of what she said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm East Asian, so there's certain privileges that come with that, especially
Totally.
amongst Asian American diaspora. But
And Korean people, dude. Korean.
yeah,
That's the move right now.
Yeah.
we're the wave right now.
That's the move.
That's the move.
Congratulations for
That's
making
the
that
vibe
move
If you're
right
early.
thinking
now.
about being Asian, think about being Korean.
Korean is
That's what's up.
very,
That's what's up.
very good right now.
Very hot right now.
Very hot.
Yeah, but I grew up in a community of a lot of white people, and I found that my experiences differed a lot from especially Bay Area Asians. And even when I was starting out my podcast, Feeling Asian, it was met with some, not skepticism, but it would be my friends who are from the Bay Area, where they were like, oh, I guess I've never really thought about it to that depth or that length that you do in conversation on your podcast. And that kind of made me like question like, oh, am I thinking about this?
Yeah,
am I making
yeah.
it too
I feel
much
you.
of a thing? But it's totally true. I mean, there's a privilege of growing up in the Bay Area where if you're not as like, you don't have to think about it as much because you are surrounded by people who kind of look like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I just think that sucks that your friends can't
Yeah.
empathize with that. And there's plenty of other Asian Americans out there with experiences similar to you. So I mean, I think you should just like minimize your time or like cut that cut that bad energy out of your life.
Yeah.
If they can't,
Yeah.
if they can't like relate or try to empathize in
Yeah.
a way.
Yeah. I feel I definitely relate to this, but from the other direction, because I'm always making fun of Filipino people on my comedy shows. Every time I see one, and I'm like, "You're not really Asian." Ha 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 ha. My bad. No, I think that I understand, and I think this is like, you know, I'm kind of like, I'm East Asian, right? But then, you know, a little while ago, I had this little thing I posted, and some Vietnamese people roasted me on it because I say the word Hanoi funny, and you know, and then some other people did relate to me and were like, oh yeah, this is a very funny thing, blah blah. So it's like you got to find your crew, you know, and it's not always the people you think they're gonna be. Do you know what I'm saying? It could be, you know, people who look like you. But a lot of times it's not those people at all. Yeah. And sometimes that's really heartbreaking. I remember one time I wanted to be friends with this. It was my roommate's friend, and he was like half Japanese or something. And I was like, this guy's gonna be so cool. He's gonna be so awesome to hang out with.
Yeah.
Huge douchebag, massive. I did not like him. I was like, and it kind of sucked because I was like, oh, I thought we were gonna be homies. But then I was like, you know what? I was being racist the other way. Yeah. Where I gave this guy benefit of the doubt because I thought he was Asian. That's not always true.
Yeah. As a person who's from the Bay Area, I
defend yourself.
I'm going to defend myself. No, I'm just kidding. I will say I've had a plethora of experiences, right? Like I went to elementary school. There are a lot of Asian people. I went to middle school, high school, mostly white people.
Yeah.
I went to college with truly mostly Asian people.
Yes, for sure.
And then I lived and did comedy in San Francisco, which was mostly white.
Yeah.
And then I moved here. So like I've like seen kind of all aspects of it and felt both too Asian and not Asian throughout all of those experiences from the lens of someone who's East Asian.
Yeah.
You know, full East Asian.
Yeah.
And so I would say my learning is people can be racist regardless of what race you are. Mm-hmm. Like I have never felt so as excluded as I felt being at Berkeley, where it's a lot of Asian people. Yeah. But I also have felt excluded with a lot of white people. You know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where I understand the struggle where you're like, I don't think I fit in because I'm too white for this crowd or I'm too Asian for this crowd. I think like that feeling exists always. And I think what has helped me is therapy. I'm not saying go to therapy, but like understanding who I am as a person and then coming to terms with the fact that like Asianness is not this one thing. Yeah. It's so diverse. Yeah. And I've like in my adulthood found a lot of Asian people who I don't feel judged around. Yeah. And I can be myself. And like Asianness isn't even like a feeling or a conversation that comes up. Like we're all valid in our identities. And so I'd say be kind to yourself and like give yourself the space to like really feel confident in who you are and like your cultural experiences because they're all valid. Mm-hmm. And then you will absolutely find people, Asian or not, who will give you the space to like I don't know, be yourself. And like, I don't know, I think it's okay to stand up for yourself if other East Asians are being like weird about it or racist about it.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I've had that experience too. Like,
oh yeah,
like with Asian people where I'm like, oh, I'm being judged right now.
Damn, dude.
Because I like Vampire Weekend.
I like Vampire Weekend.
See?
Yeah, we're Vampire Weekend Asians.
That's who you got. Okay, person who called in, you know, thank you for your voicemail.
Yeah, thank you.
Find other Asians who like Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
And you will find your people.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, you know, my one of my best friends from college, she's Filipino. And she's a Madion Asian, you know, EDM Asian.
Oh,
like,
okay.
Go CBC, like that vibe. And we get along and we respect each other and we are both valid in our Asianness.
You want to talk about diversity. You got to talk about somebody who likes EDM, hanging out with someone who likes Vampire Weekend.
I'm an indie Asian. She's an EDM Asian. Can you believe it?
That's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful story.
It can happen.
Okay, that's great. How about one more? You want to do one more?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Let's do it.
Hello, Mike and Jenny and guest. I am an Asian American in Portland, Oregon, and as you know, it's a pretty white town, pretty white city. This week I felt like a very token Asian because it feels like everywhere I go, especially what I do, like in the arts, whenever I'm on the set of a film or I'm at a theater audition, I'm like the only Asian there. So I always feel like the token Asian, and in a few weeks, I am starting graduate school for clinical mental health, and Asian Americans are underrepresented in mental health, both as providers and as patients. So I know you guys are pro mental health, but I know there's still a lot of stigma, especially with older Asians, about seeking out therapy. So I hope I'm doing the right thing by going into clinical mental health counseling. I'm a little bit nervous. I know I'm going to be probably one of the few Asians in my classes, so makes me a little bit nervous, even though I'm kind of used to representing, but that's a lot of pressure representing a whole group of people. You know, if when you're the only Asian in class, I can't speak for all Asian Americans. But anyway, just thought I'd share that I feel like the token Asian in my town, and thank you for all you do, and hope you have a great day. Bye.
Okay.
Heard from the only Asian person in Portland. Wow. That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. Also, I got this person on because this person is going through a career change, and I thought Brian could relate. And so that's why I enjoy. Yeah, I think that's this person is also kind of similar to the other voicemail, you know, trying to find her people. You know, and I think it's interesting too about, like, you know, saying that in the art, you know, because she says she's in the art space. So I think that's like doubly, you know, not only is there nobody around you like in the town, but then also you get into this like field where there's like not a lot of people who look like you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And going into a field.
Oh yeah, and then going into a field where there's not a lot of
people that look like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have words of advice, but I think that rules that you're doing mental health work. We need more people who are Asian providers.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so one of our previous episodes on the podcast that I host, Feeling Asian, we had a roundup of mental health professionals. But if you're looking to speak with someone, I highly recommend reaching out to Peter Adams and Melissa Yao of Buckeye Psychology. If you just Google Buckeye Psychology, you can find their page. But they are true badasses, so welcoming, and you know, just refer this podcast or the Feeling Asian podcast, and I'm sure you can have like a professional, like, inside baseball conversation about some of these anxieties or insecurities you have about this career change, because they love what they do, and similar to you, they think it's very important, and there needs to be more Asian mental health providers. So I commend you for making that leap, and you're doing the right thing.
Brian, have you thought about going into mental health grad school?
I considered it, but given where my interests lie currently, I don't know if I'm there at this moment. Yeah,
probably give it a week or so, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get dinner in a couple weeks, so we'll circle back.
No, I think I think that that's cool. Thank you. Yes, definitely. Do the thing that was helpful that Brian said.
Instead of me saying I have nothing to say. No, I just think it rules.
I know
it's tough.
I think it is cool.
It's like, it's so tough. I get it. Like when you're, I don't know, like how can you, to be the only person, you do have the burden of representation regardless of whether you want it or not.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, it's so unfortunate that that's the way that it works.
And I have heard that Portland is very white.
Yeah.
And so we're hearing straight from the source.
I would have thought that there would be some Asian there. I don't know why. I think maybe because it's close to Vancouver.
Like, I know there's a few. I know, like Nike, like designers for Nike, and they're Asian. So
yeah, but I think people probably have a tough time moving there, or like make the decision to not move there. Maybe if you're like,
oh, for sure,
because there's just like a less of a community.
Well, there you go. So if you want to get up on these voicemails, we love to hear from our guests, and I'll give you the number here. It is 646-809-7231. 646-809-7231. You can tell us anything, you know, what's on your mind. You can tell us what kind of Asian you are. You can ask if something's Asian or not Asian. It doesn't matter. Just, we love to hear your voice, and you know, we want to know what's going on. We can't guarantee that we'll give you any useful advice unless Brian is here.
Yeah, Brian's the only one who's like here providing any
vent.
direction.
Please vent. Please come out. Again, that's 646-809-7231. And I think that's the show. Brian.
Woo.
Yeah. How Oh, you always ask each other how you're feeling.
How are you feeling?
We can end with that. How are you feeling, Brian?
I'm feeling good. Thanks for having me and letting me brain dump on y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel good.
We love it. At one point, we were just like, Mike was actually asking you to brain dump on him physically. He's like, bring it, bring
You're
it,
like
bring it, bring
Fletcher in Whiplash when I'm playing the drum, but just brain dumping, and you're kind of like,
oh yeah,
give me more,
Come on.
give me more, give me
I'm
more.
helping you with the symbol.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, oh yeah, come on. I do. I believe in you, Brian. Okay. Sometimes one thing that was very nice is sometimes Fumi would give me tough love, and I want to give people I know tough love. You know, and it's like, you know, you gotta. You're great. You know what I'm saying?
This is his tough love.
Yeah,
love.
and you get you know,
Good job.
hey, you did good, kid. You did good. You know, don't listen to any bad voices in your head. I don't know why I have a weird accent now.
Yeah, you have like a weird Midwestern accent.
Midwest. Yeah. So, but yeah, I don't know. If Brian, where can our guests find you?
You guys can find me online at It's Brian Park, and yeah, check out our podcast, Feeling Asian Podcast.
Boom. Definitely. You can always find this podcast on Instagram at Asian Not Asian Pod, and you can find me there on Instagram at Nice Pants Bro.
You can find me at Jenny Arimoto.
Boom. And
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
We didn't talk about bad vibes that we touched on at the beginning. But I'm not saying we need to talk about it. I'm just tabling that for next discussion.
Oh shit, we didn't talk about
The bad
And I
vibes
just-
will still
The bad
probably be
vibes
there.
will continue because it was like we didn't get to really
Nevertheless, the bad
flush it out.
vibes persisted.
Persist. Yeah, nevertheless.
The bad vibes will continue until further notice.
Until further notice, because I didn't get to flesh it out of my system.
You know what though? I'm gonna leave it right there because that's a cliffhanger.
It's a cliffhanger.
You want to know what happens to the bad vibes?
Yes.
Check us out next
Yeah.
week.
Tune in next week.
Tune
Can't
in
wait.
next week where
Waiting
we
with
talk
bated
about bad
breath
vibes.
To hear
Yeah.
more about hear about bad vibes with my hour.
All right, thanks guys.
Bye.
Bye.